Welcome back to Meta Matters, our top metaverse news blips tonight. Poppy isn't playing around. We take a look at this monster Roblox hit. Are you ready to get into the groove and build to the beat? And are we reaching the tipping point? We take a deep dive into tipping culture and its place in gaming. Good evening, I'm Jon Hamblin, or at least that's what it says on my birth certificate. My current one. Welcome to this week's edition of Meta Matters, the show where we take a long, hard Paddington stare at the week's metaverse news. Now I hope you're wearing your brownest trousers, because I'm about to show you something absolutely terrifying. And for once, it's not my face. Poppy's Playtime Forever is currently the hottest branded game on Roblox, grabbing over 30 million plays in the last month, which pushes it ahead of Barbie and Sonic. Now, if you're not familiar with the Poppy brand, it started as a multi-chapter game on Steam, casting you as an explorer in a disused toy factory that has a rather unusual security solution. A giant furry monster called Huggy Wuggy, and believe me, you do not want a hug from this thing. Drawing on the same sort of jump scare frights that made Five Nights at Freddy's so popular, it's easy to see why this game became a viral sensation, and now there's a Roblox version. They've kept some of the core mechanics, including the stretchy arms, but they've added multiplayer and creation modes, and having played both, I think that what the Roblox version lacks in graphical fidelity, it gains in playability. And of course, it's just as scary. To my shame, I screamed out loud at least twice whilst recording footage for this piece. Time now for some block rocking beats. Top metaverse agency Carter have just released Beat Builders, a rhythm action game that asks Fortnite Creative players to build to the beat. Epic Games have been on quite a journey over the last few years, working out how to incorporate more licensed music into Fortnite, and part of that puzzle was buying rock band developers Harmonix back in 2021. Late last year, that purchase bore fruit in the form of Fortnite Festival, a new pillar of Fortnite featuring rock band-style gameplay, jam sessions, and even concerts. Epic also released the Patchwork toolset, allowing Fortnite Creative builders to incorporate musical elements into their experiences. Carter's Beat Builders is one of the first musical experiences to take advantage of these tools, and it's already had over 100,000 players in just a few weeks. It seems clear that experiences like this might be the way forward for upcoming bands and artists that want to have a place in Fortnite but can't afford the cost of a dedicated experience. Still, as a metaverse creative director myself, all of this innovation is truly music to my cranberries. Cranberries? Meta me, have you been messing with the auto cue again? Meta me! Here's a tip for former presidents of massive games companies notorious for simultaneously treating their staff like cattle whilst also squeezing every cent out of gamers. Maybe don't go onto social media and suggest adding tip jars to games that already cost $70. Yet, bizarrely, that's exactly what former Blizzard president Mike Ybarra did last week, to a predictable outcry from fans and the press alike. And I totally get it, it does come across as tone deaf, especially during a time when money is tight, wage stagnation is real, and gamers are torn between buying the latest blockbuster or paying their heating bills. Personally, I just put a jumper on. Especially when he goes on to say that this could be a reward for games companies who don't engage in predatory in-game microtransactions, which is a bit like giving someone a gold medal for not being a flesh-eating cannibal. You shouldn't be a flesh-eating cannibal, that's the point. You don't get a reward for not being a f***ing ghoul. But even if you did decide you wanted to tip $10 to a $74.3 billion company like Activision Blizzard, where would the money go? Games like Call of Duty are made by hundreds of people, and by the time the game comes out, half of the staff that made it have probably been fired anyway. And who's to say that companies wouldn't use a tips bonus as a way to justify lowering wages across the board, pushing the burden of paying their workforce properly back onto the already coin-rinsed consumer? Spoiler alert, they definitely would. Now, before I come across all Mr. Pink...
I don't tip.
You don't tip?
No, I don't believe in it.
There is a scenario where I think tipping game creators is a good idea, and that's for indie games and metaverse creators. Take Fortnite Creative Worlds. Tons of effort to put together, often by small teams, and although Epic Games are committed to sharing money with their creators, you need to be in the top 4% of builders to earn anything more than an extremely basic living. So for a map beloved by a small group of extremely dedicated fans that's unable to monetize in any meaningful way, tips from gamers could make a big difference. So add a tip mechanic for Fortnite Creative, you cowards! And if you need a precedent, indie platform itch.io does this already, and it works great. Oh, and Mike, if you've watched this video and do want to send me $1 million tip, well, please don't be scared. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Meta Matters, and if you did, why not like and subscribe and tip a large amount of Bitcoin into my encrypted wallet? That's not a euphemism. We'll have plenty more news for you at the same time next week, but for now, I'm Jon Hamblin, and that was all the meta that matters. Good night.